Hi, everybody. It says Ryan Sherlock in the program. I'm not Ryan. My name is Danal Shanker. I lost a bet, so I'm here to basically continue on where my colleague Eugene was talking a little bit about Intercom engineering. I'm here to talk about our product Fin. And those of you who are local, you may have seen these billboards around town, or if you're visiting, you may have encountered them off the side of the freeway and wondered, what is this new AI agent, customer service AI agent company that's here? Well, big reveal, it's Intercom. So this is the Intercom help desk and the native AI agent that runs on top of Intercom. You don't have to use our help desk. You can use Fin on other help desks. Come and talk to us if you're curious about how that works. But you all might be familiar with our work from around the 2010s, making this little messenger bubble ubiquitous around the entire internet. So a little bit of company history here. We started around the early 2010s. We're kind of like a teenage startup, if you want to think of it that way, which has given us a lot of benefit to continue the startup culture, but we're a lot of scale and a lot of maturity across the business. We started dabbling with machine learning even around like the 2015 to 2020 type of era. Things really accelerated, obviously, in the age of LLMs. And we got to the point where we are basically launching an AI agent that is both accessible to people who are used to working with AI and people who are not. So even if you are a support agent that maybe you have some good technical skills, but you're not really an expert in AI, we've designed this entire kind of system concept for Fin that looks a lot like software development. You build the implementation, you test it, you deploy it, and you figure out how to improve it. And so in that way, both with our foundational technology, utilizing foundational models from all of the LLM providers that you can possibly imagine, plus the tools that we provide, which I'll showcase a couple of items during the walkthrough today, help teams achieve extremely high resolution rates, increasing the overall automation of your customer service operations, and very soon it will be expanding into other parts of your customer-facing roles as well. So let's take a bit of a closer look. We'll jump right into the demo. We have a kind of an e-commerce example site here on the left, and then the actual help desk here on the right. So make this window a little bit bigger. And I'm going to use the voice notes capability here, so I don't need to like type the whole thing. It'll go a little bit quicker this way. So I had an issue with my order. So send a little text-to-speech there, and we're going to kick off. We're jumping right into the deep end. You know, obviously, we all know AI is really good at these kind of like quick Q&A questions. We're going to go into a more involved customer service process. It's what we call a task. There's a kind of a new iteration of it called procedures that's coming out pretty soon. But we can actually see, I'll go ahead and actually pull up the conversation here on the right. So, oh, that wasn't the one. Hang on a second. Reset the view there for a moment. And actually here, hang on a minute. Ah, that was the right one. Okay, cool. So we can actually see, just from that kind of initial intent match, we can see Fin here has actually identified, okay, we need to run our damaged order process. It's making some API calls here, so it's kind of gathering the context for the user. And it's going to start running through the instructions that we've given Fin. And it'll actually show you its thinking process. So it's kind of like exposing to you, based off my instructions, here's what I know I need to do next. And so it's already looked up the order, and I'm going to confirm. The issues with the trail shoes, I ordered them in purple and received a pair in white. So go ahead and send that message through to Fin. And it'll continue on the next phase of the instructions. So it's kind of validating a few things here, and it'll get to a point where, oh, yeah, so it's confirming like any other damage. So I'll just give it a quick nudge along here. No other damage, just the wrong color. I love that new voice notes thing. It's so much faster than just seeing me sit here plod typing away. It'll get to a point where it's going to say, hey, we want to confirm that you were sent the wrong item. Can you go ahead and send us a photo? So we're kind of getting into the multimodality of Fin. This is the point where, like in the old 2010 era chatbot technology, you have a path that you defined, and if the customer wants to take you off of that path, it becomes very brittle, and the whole thing falls apart. In the age of LLMs, it's resilient. Fin knows I need to pause and answer my question, and go ahead and ask a question here about the returns process. Before I do that, can you tell me about the replacement process? And so we'll actually see on the context that it's showing here on the right-hand side, pausing to generate an informational answer in the middle of this process flow. and it's going to nudge me back into the process. Okay, can you go ahead and upload the image now? So it's kind of giving the background information. It'll cite its sources. There's some really nice UX that we do here, so you can actually like read the help article, kind of like in situ here. Uh-oh, I might have accidentally hidden my back button here. There we go. Okay, cool. So that's okay. So it's kind of like bringing me back on track with what I need to do. So I'll go ahead and upload my image. So I'll go ahead and send a copy here of the white shoes that I was sent. And I'll go ahead and zoom in on the thinking here so you can actually see Finn kind of like what it's doing behind the scenes. You don't have to train it on any of these images. We're taking this image and creating a text representation and sending that through to the answer generation pipeline. And so it's very detailed. If you actually see some of the translations that it creates here, very clearly shown an image, oops, a little too far there, an image in white. You can kind of see some additional of the like guidance that we've given Finn, how to behave, what are all of our procedures, so on and so forth. And it's kind of like reflecting back to us, like the procedures that we've defined that you need to accomplish in order to actually resolve this issue, checking off each item, and then advancing to the next one by one. And then they can go out of order. You can like create interruptions. You can change your mind in the middle. A lot of flexibility here. We've seen examples where you have like a GraphQL where it's like generating like filter strings for a GraphQL query that you can then use in the API response. It's pretty awesome. And then, yeah, we'll go ahead and carry on here just for the interest of time for the demo. Some other things that we do here on the help desk side. At any point, if we escalated to a human member of the team, first of all, you don't pay for the AI at that point. It's all performance-based, so per resolution pricing model. I can go ahead and choose to take over for Finn at any point. And let's say I wanted to actually understand myself what the replacement process looks like. This is where the Copilot product comes into play. So Finn has your customer-facing knowledge set. Copilot has that, plus your internal policy documents and other sensitive data that you wouldn't necessarily want to expose to your team, that you don't want to expose to your end users directly, but you do trust your team to read the internal policy document saying if this is a frustrated customer, you can give them $100 credit. Maybe we don't want Finn to do that on its own. People might abuse it, but we trust the human team to do that. And at any point, I go in here and say, okay, deepfake myself, rewrite this in my tone of voice. And so it's going to look at my past writing samples and actually generate something that looks a lot like, oh, what did it do here? Interesting, it wrote in Arabic. That's a little curious. I think it was doing some testing on this a little bit earlier on. I think I may have picked up my context from that earlier on. So it's not a demo without something like that going on. The other thing that Copilot can pull up is it will actually look at solutions given to prior conversations, so not the customer messages, the resolutions provided by the teammates, and it can actually surface those for you. So pretty powerful. One other thing that we do is, AI obviously has superpowers, speaks every language, and can work 24/7. You can also imbue your teammates with some of those same superpowers. Here's a conversation with the agent speaking in English. On the other side of that conversation, the customer is speaking in Spanish. So the days of like outsourced language specialists, BPOs, are over. You can have your team being in one location in one region. We'll handle all the back and forth for you. It's very much like the Babelfish concept, the way it was originally intended. And then this is all kind of like tied together through the orchestration layer. So we can actually see Finn kind of like gathering all the context. Long story short, you kind of like determine all of your escalation flows. So you can have Finn determine, is this a billing issue? Is this like a tech support issue? So it'll create those categorizations for you and kind of bucket and have different behaviors during that handover. One quick thing I'm going to show you guys, we saw an example of a task running. We actually democratized the process of creating these more complex involved support processes. Here we have a blank slate of a new task. You kind of give it an intent that you'd like it to match. And we have written kind of a memo to our support team, kind of describing our support process. I'll go ahead and actually input it here. And this is kind of like written by a former football coach. And so it's like very non-technical. However, it's almost like thinking of planning mode in Claude. We're kind of adapting kind of a human written memo describing the procedure and creating a step-by-step structure that's going to define what are the attributes we need to keep track of, what are the different data sources we need to dip into and read data from, and it's kind of defining that structure for us here automatically. So you get a big head start, and it reduces that frustration cycle of like trying to figure out like the different ways that AI is thinking about the reasoning sequence of events it needs to do in order to follow a process like this. So we're effectively making these type of more involved process accessible to anybody, even if you don't have a lot of experience with AI. Obviously, most of you guys probably do have some good experience here, but this is how we democratize the technology effectively. All of this is like really brought to life. Oh, I got about 20 seconds here. I'm going to skip ahead here. The cool thing is you can deploy Fin on multiple channels. So quick look at Fin over the voice channel. So let's have a bit of a troubleshooting call with Fin.
You're through to the support team. How can we help?
It's a little bit quiet, but hey there, can you give me some step-by-step instructions on how to install Messenger?
Which platform are you installing Messenger on? A website, a web app, or using a tool like Google Tag Manager?
No Tag Manager, just on my regular website.
We've got a solution to install the Messenger on your website. We'll walk through adding a JavaScript snippet to your site's
Well,
code.
hang on a second. Where do I find that snippet? A little interruption.
We've got a couple of ways to find the Messenger JavaScript snippet.
Anyway, you guys
One
get the idea.
involves copying
So
it from your...
you got to do things quite differently when you're getting the voice channel, but making things natural so that anybody can avail of the helpfulness of the AI. Thank you so much, everyone.